Right, it's exactly 12 hours before ring night, the ring walk. How are you feeling?
Wow, I was all right until you just told me that. I'm just chilling, having my breakfast, and then
I've just killed your cornflakes.
12 hours away. I'm all right. Woke up this morning, butterflies in my stomach.
How'd you sleep?
Now, 5:15 was the last time I looked at my phone, so I was awake a bit longer after that. And then I woke up at 7, eyes open, nodded back off a little bit, and then at 8 o'clock I've been awake since 8 o'clock.
You've been involved in some really big fights in your career, but as a trainer obviously as well. Do you feel like this is the biggest fight you've been involved in?
Funny thing is while I was having a shave earlier on, I do my thinking when I'm having a shave, and I was just thinking about the stuff that I've actually been involved in, and Degale Groves, Ryan Rhodes. I tell you what was a big one was Ryan's British title fight back with me, because that was a big thing, because it was always about him winning a British title against Gary Woolcombe. That was big. But then on a bigger scale, the Jamie Moore fight, big domestic blockbuster. Hay against Audley Harrison, and then the world title fights we had that was involved with Haymaker. And then Ryan Rhodes against Alvarez in Mexico. I think looking at it, and people will want, I'm not talking in other people's eyes, I'm talking about for me personally, this is the biggest one. It's the one where...
Why?
Because it's massive, because everybody's talking about it. People don't want to talk about it. There's people out there that have never wanted to talk about it and have said, oh, it shouldn't be this, it shouldn't be that, and, it's not important. There's no world title fight on the line. But everybody's talking about it. And I gauge fights on non-boxing people talking to me about it. And if it's a normal Saturday fight night and it's a big fight that we're all talking about, we're all in the trade, we're all excited about, people don't stop me in the street and talk. Don't know me. People don't stop me in the street and talk to me about it. When I'm out with my missus, people don't come up to me and talk about a Saturday fight night show or anything like that. This fight's gone pay-per-view, and the publicity that Sky have given it, what Ed's worked on with it, and myself, helping to try and sell the show. You've got people that aren't interested in boxing coming up to you. I got a text this morning off a mate of mine that I don't speak too much, but he's a mate, and I've not heard from him quite a while, and he texted me saying everybody at his work, they're not asked about boxing. He says everybody at his work's talking about Saturday night. Good luck, hope everything goes well. And I just thought that just sums it all up, and that for me tells you it's a big fight. No matter what certain people and industry insiders want to say, there's no world title, this. Sometimes you just don't need a title to make something a big fight. The personalities, the public attention, and what it means to the individuals that are in it, that's what makes a big fight sometimes. This is huge.
I said to both Nathan and Tony yesterday, I think also the magnitude of this fight is that both fighters feel they can't fathom the concept of losing, but should either of them lose, this is potentially a career-ending fight.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not disrespectful towards him, but I think Nathan's thought about losing more than what Tony has, just by some of his answers that he's given. In one minute he'll say, yeah, if should Tony knock him down, should Tony knock him out, blah blah. Tony's never ever in the whole training, he won't let that enter his mind. That's not arrogance. That's just he refuses to think about getting beat. But yeah, whoever gets beat can still come back. It's a long way to. It depends, right? Some fighters, and it happens over and over again. If it's a good fight and the loser gets beat, sometimes they can come back with another win, and then a champion might pick him as a soft defence, but a name defence. These two guys are big names in cruiserweight division now. Right? This fight, the way it's been sold, it's helped make them two big names in the cruiserweight division. And they've moved up recently from light heavyweight. But for that reason alone, there might be a way back. You just never know in boxing. You just never know. But it's not about that. It's about the heartbreak that'll go with this. That's what it is. It's bigger than titles going forward and stuff like that. Right here, right now, for these two fighters, it means everything. And they will. The one thing that people got to remember is when it's a big domestic grudge match and everybody's talking about it, everybody remembers it. So when people talk to me about Ryan Rose's career, they never talk about him fighting for WBC world title in Mexico against Saul Alvarez, a superstar at game. Talk about his Jamie Moore fight. Do you know what I mean? When people talk about George Groves now, number one, until the fight, they was talking about the Degale win. It was always about Degale. But now he will always be the guy that lost at Wembley in front of 80,000 people against Carl Froch in a massive grudge fight. Do you know what I mean? He could go on to be another world champion. Doesn't matter. That's how people remember. When it's a big grudge match, unless he fights another massive world title fight against another Brit, then that can, that'll eclipse that and it's fine. But you go on and you win a world title against a Mexican, an American, or whatever, you will always be remembered for that. It's like if Kell and Khan fight, no matter what their achievements in their career, people always talk about that fight and that result. That's what this fight is, And so there's so much on the line. That's forget about money, forget about titles going forward and stuff. This is why it doesn't actually matter that there's not a world title on the line, because there's so much at stake for these two fighters, and you've got a feel for whoever does get beat,
Yeah, so many words have been said. It's tough to come back from.
Yeah, but that's what makes things. That's what makes this so. For the general public, that's what makes this so appealing, because it's like there's a chapter after this. How does a loser react to it? It's my job to look at every aspect and every scenario as a trainer. It's not the fighters. I don't expect my fighter to ever consider losing and everything like that. But I have to look at how Nathan can beat Tony.
And how can Nathan beat Tony? Or how can Tony beat Nathan?
If Tony doesn't do what he's supposed to do, then Nathan can beat Tony. I'm not.
Have you got a game plan for every single scenario?
Yeah, because I'd be a stupid idiot if I didn't. If Tony personally expects Nathan to come out bombing and swinging, do I? No, because I think if he genuinely thinks that Tony's fat and slow, now he knows he's not fat because I saw him at weigh-in, but if he genuinely through training camp thinks that he's fat and slow, then the way that I would tell my fighter, but he understands he can punch. The way that I would tell my fighter, who's an athlete and who's technically better in every aspect, this is what Camp cleverly think that they are, then I would say to my fighter, well, box him. Because he's fat and slow, you can outbox him.
You think that'll play into Tony's...
Draw his sting. And then when you start feeling that he's starting to chug a little bit, then get on his chest and smash him up. So there's two ways there that I believe that he's gonna fight. Box him and then fight him when he wants to fight. So we've prepared for that. We've prepared. That's why. When I saw a couple of tweets when people saw, it's sparring with Eddie Chambers. He fights nothing like Nathan Cleverley. No, he's got a better brain than Nathan Cleverley. He's a smarter boxer than Nathan Cleverley. And so if Nathan Cleverley wants to box, we've had some good preparation sparring Eddie Chambers, wouldn't you say? And also the fact is, Chambers is an heavyweight at 16.5 stone. He can punch. It may not be a big punching heavyweight, but he can punch. He's a heavyweight, So Tony's been used to that strength and a heavier weight of punch. But early days, we sparred with a couple of heavyweights. It's not just, but then we've moved on to cruiserweights.
In your heart of hearts, how do you see this going? Do you see it going the distance?
No. All I ask for is that Tony does what, mentally and physically, does what we've worked on. And if he does that, then I'm really, really confident that he's going to...
Do you feel at all, because Tony, one thing you can't take away from Tony is his unbelievable passion and heart, and he will literally lay down his life on the line when he steps into that ring. Do you feel any of that passion and emotion will deter him at all from the game plan you've set out?
Do I feel it will? No, but can it? Yeah. Again, this is what I'm saying. This is why he's got to do as well as physically what we've worked on. He's got to do mentally. You know, it's why right from the beginning I've been instilling into him. He's got to be intellectual about it. Intellectual bombing. That's why I say that to him. It's not just a little gimmick. It's the easiest way to get into his head. The minute I said to him, remember, it's all about intellectual bombing. He knows what that means. He knows that. He knows that he's got to have a thought process before he's throwing his bombs. You can't just walk out there, slick, bombing away, because if you do that, you're wide open and you're going to gas. You know, you've got to be clever about it. Know when to throw, what to throw. Do you know what I mean? And how to throw. And everything's been done in training, and I'm happy.
It's nothing. You can't control anything anymore. That's what you said to me yesterday. That's why you possibly feel a bit more nervous. You're not sleeping well because you personally have done everything you can. It's now not up to you.
Do you know the thing is? Do you know if I thought that he's melting down like others do, and if I thought, oh, mentally he's gone, then it sounds silly, but I would be more worried, but less nervous. Because I would be worried because I think he's lost it here. But I wouldn't be as nervous because right now I feel it's Tony's fight to lose, and I hate being in that position because I prefer it when I think this is a big ask. We've got to pull it off. But I just feel that how he's been in training and how his state of mind's been and everything. I just feel as though it's his fight to lose, and that is the worst thing because you're that close to getting it. It's like, I don't know. It's like having you think you've got the right lottery numbers, but you go to tell and you haven't even put your money on or whatever. I don't know. It's like having something there and then having it whipped away from you. I feel that it's there, and I'm not arrogant. It's not being smug. It's just that from what I have seen with Tony and what he's been doing, I fully believe that my man's going to win. If he holds it together, and if he, the worst case scenario is, or the clearest way I can explain to you is, I've got a big dog, right, and he hates cats, and he wants to chase a cat, right, but I've got him on lead, and I'm yanking him back, holding him down, so he sits down, and he's just watching this cat that's across the road, he's watching it, right. If I then let him off at lead, he goes that fast with his feet, trying to get to that cat, he's falling over. Right? The only thing that I will say is that right until we walked to the centre of the ring, referee's instructions, walked back, and then I said to Tony my last few words, my nerves will be the worst at that point.
You're making me feel nervous just talking about it.
My nerves will be the worst at that point because when I get out of the ring, I don't know if he's going to be like that dog that's trying to get at that cat as fast as he can, or if he's going to be smart with it. And if he's smart with it, he will put on a right show. But if he's like that dog, then it's anybody. The thing is, if he goes out like a lunatic, it's a 50-50 fight for me. Because when you start swinging bombs, and both his chins are in air and whatever like that, it can be anybody. It can be anybody's fight. So I still don't discount that. If he lands on cleverly, throwing a shot with his eyes closed and everything, he knocks cleverly out. If he lands it clean, sweet. But
wow.
Chance if he goes out there like an idiot. But if he goes out there and I expect him to engage, I expect him to trade, and I want him to trade, but in an intelligent way, watching what he's doing while he's throwing. And if he does that, then I'm happy for him to stand there trading.
Well, listen, thank you so much for talking to us. I'm excited, nervous, but I wish you both all the best and good luck for later.
Thank you.